Watch a baby closely for one day, and you'll notice something strange. They don't act the same way with everyone. There's a whole list of things a baby will only do with one specific person, and researchers have spent decades figuring out exactly what each one means. You'd probably guess that a baby's favorite person is just whoever spends the most time with them, feeds them, changes them, shows up the most. But attachment research tells a slightly different story. It's not about time logged. It's about a specific set of behaviors a baby saves for exactly one person, sometimes two, and every single one of those behaviors has a purpose behind it. Here are 7 of them and what's actually happening underneath each one. The first thing is physical. When their favorite person picks them up, a baby's whole body changes. Researcher Ruth Feldman has spent years studying something called biobehavioral synchrony, the way a caregiver's body and a baby's body start matching each other during close contact. Heart rate, breathing, even hormone levels begin to sync up between the two of them, almost like 2 instruments falling into the same rhythm. And this synchrony is strongest, by far, with the baby's primary attachment figure. That's why a baby can look tense and fussy in someone else's arms, then go completely loose and heavy the second their person picks them up. Their nervous system isn't performing calm, it's genuinely recalibrating to match yours. The second thing is protest, specifically protest that shows up with one person and not really with anyone else. This traces back to the foundational work of psychologist John Bowlby, who first described the deep biological bond between infants and their primary caregiver as an attachment system, something built by evolution to keep a vulnerable baby physically close to the one adult most likely to keep them alive. When that person leaves the room, the attachment system treats it as a real low-level alarm. A baby might barely notice a grandparent stepping out, but when their primary attachment figure leaves, even briefly, that protest cry is doing exactly what it evolved to do, signaling as loudly as possible, "Come back." The third thing looks like the opposite of attachment, but it's actually proof of it, wandering off to explore, then circling back to check in. In the 1970s, psychologist Mary Ainsworth ran a series of experiments now known as the strange situation, watching how babies used their caregiver while exploring an unfamiliar room. What she found became one of the cornerstones of attachment theory. Babies with a secure bond to their caregiver didn't cling constantly. They explored confidently, crawling off towards toys and other people, but they kept glancing back and periodically returned to touch base before heading out again. Ainsworth called this the secure base behavior. Your baby isn't ignoring you when they crawl away. They're using you as the fixed point that makes the whole room feel safe enough to explore.
The fourth thing happens in moments of uncertainty, a baby freezing and looking straight at their person's face before deciding how to react. This is called social referencing, and one of the most famous demonstrations of it comes from a 1985 study using something called the visual cliff, a table with a clear glass surface that creates the illusion of a sudden drop. Researchers placed babies at the edge of that illusion and had their mothers stand on the far side, making either a fearful face or a happy, encouraging one. Almost every baby checked the mother's expression before deciding whether to crawl across. A fearful face stopped them cold. An encouraging one sent most of them right across the glass. Babies aren't just watching their favorite person's face for fun. They're using it as a live readout for how dangerous the world is. The fifth thing is a shift that tends to show up somewhere around 8 months old. A baby who used to go to almost anyone, suddenly reaching only for 1 or 2 people and turning away or even crying when someone else tries to hold them. Researchers have documented this pattern for decades, sometimes calling it 8-month anxiety or more broadly, stranger wariness. It isn't a sign that something's wrong. It's actually a sign that a baby's brain has developed enough to reliably tell familiar faces apart from unfamiliar ones, a skill they simply didn't have a few months earlier. That new clarity comes with a side effect. Once a baby can clearly recognize their favorite person, being handed to someone else suddenly feels like a real noticeable change, and their reaction shows it. The sixth thing is about recovery time, how fast a baby calms back down after something upsetting, depending on whose arms they land in. Researchers studying stress hormones in infants, including work led by developmental psychologist Megan Gunner, have found that a baby's cortisol levels, the body's main stress hormone, drop faster and more reliably when they're comforted by their primary attachment figure compared to another familiar adult using the exact same soothing technique. Same rocking, same shushing, same gentle bounce, different result, depending entirely on who's doing it. Your baby's body isn't just responding to the technique, it's responding to you specifically in a way that shows up in their actual bloodstream. The seventh thing is the simplest one on this list, and maybe the most touching. Babies tend to save their biggest, most drawn-out smiles for one person. Early research on infant social smiling found that while babies begin smiling socially at almost anyone around 6 to 8 weeks old, that smiling quickly becomes more selective. By a few months in, a baby's smiles toward their primary caregiver tend to be longer, more frequent, and paired with more eye contact than the smiles they give anyone else, even other people they see often and clearly enjoy. It's one of the earliest, clearest signs that a baby isn't just responding to faces in general, they're responding to your face specifically, differently than any other. Put those 7 behaviors together and a pattern shows up. None of them are random quirks. Every one, the melting into your arms, the protest when you leave, the wandering and circling back, the face checking, the reaching only for you, the faster calming, the bigger smiles, is a baby's nervous system doing exactly what millions of years of evolution built it to do, locking on to the one person most likely to keep them safe and building an entire behavioral system around staying close to them. If you want more of the research behind the behaviors you're already living through every day, subscribe. This is exactly what this channel is built around.